Okay, so today we have the next skill of the employability skills part, and which is my self-management skills, right? So I'll be sharing my screen with you now, and here it is. I have named it as part two. As part one, we are done on the communication skills last class, and this is my unit two, which talks about three major aspects in self-management. In class 9th and 10th, we've really discussed small aspects of self-management. How can we really take care of ourselves, motivate ourselves, manage the stress. Everything we have actually worked out in the class 9th and 10th syllabus. And now in the class 12, they are talking more about the personality traits too, along with the other things. How well you can manage yourself. Okay. So here we start with the first thing, that is positive thinking, which is very, very important. Until unless we have uh, a setup in the mind that yes, I can do it, I want to do it, maintain the discipline in order to get that goal, achieve that goal, we will not be able to do anything. Right? You are at a stage in life where these things are extremely important. Okay, so we say that to manage oneself well, we need to have positive thinking. We need to have a result orientation. That is some focus, some target. That yes, I want to achieve that, achieve big, achieve that desired goal of mine, right? And of course, I should be aware of my strengths and weaknesses, my personality issues, my traits, my everything about myself, which we term as the self-awareness. Because if you kind of do not analyze yourself well, then you will not be able to do the things. अपने आप को जज गलत करोगे तो obviously your targets will not be fulfilled, right? So these three are the things which we are aiming at. First thing, definitely about the positive attitude. It's the optimistic attitude, it's the calmness, it's the happiness within you, good health, everything is talking about a positive attitude. Hamisha, if you go negative, say, I can't manage it, I can't do it, then obviously things will not work out. The affirmations are very, very positive affirmations are very, very important. Right. So in order to maintain a positive attitude, it's very important that you be happy. Try to keep yourself happy under the deadliest of conditions. Obviously difficult, but yes. Then try to listen to music, read motivating books, physical exercise, diet, proper sleep, learn to focus. Don't get disappointed by your failures, which is very, very important. नहीं हुआ कोई बात नहीं. We'll try better next time. We'll try to do much better next time. That should be your attitude always. Try to be as much as cheerful as possible. Don't go down. Don't, bow down, as we say. No need. There are always opportunities coming up this way or that way. And you will all be able to do very well in life. And basically that positive attitude is very, very important. There's a level of motivation which also keeps you going in life, which is talking about two categories here. The intrinsic motivation and the extrinsic motivation. This is something we've already done in class 9th and 10th also, though you people were not there. Few of you were not there. So here we quickly describe these two motivation levels, intrinsic and extrinsic. As the name suggests, intrinsic is within. The motivation which you have from within. Nobody else is asking you to do it. You don't do it for a reward. You don't do it for some social, what do you say? A social, sense of belonging or something. You do it for your self satisfaction. You do it for your self enjoyment, after self internal happiness. Okay, that's your interesting motivation. You yourself go up, then get up in the morning, go for exercises, do things on your own. Nobody is pulling you out of this. That's intrinsic motivation. You simply do it out of pleasure. You want to do well. You want to feel well. So you get up early in the morning, you do exercise, you eat well, sleep on time. Don't do waste your time here and there. It's all from your inside. When it's coming from inside, there is no external motivation. Like your parents have said that if you do well, I'll give you a chocolate. Or if you do well, I'll get you a phone. That kind of a thing is not there. You're doing it out of your own self motivation. Then it is called as intrinsic motivation because you want to do it, hence you do it. Extrinsic is when you are actually looking for some external reward. I want a prize. I want to have the shield. I want to have the trophy. And that is why I am doing it. Okay, this was just one small thing that if it is not from inside, if you do not desire it yourself and you're just looking at the reward, in that case, at times you will feel frustrated, at times you will get demotivated. So it's not always helpful, the extrinsic motivation. Okay, it is definitely because intrinsic motivation will kind of हमेशा उसको जिंदा रखना is not possible. It's not possible. You always have a target to achieve. You always have something external which will motivate you better. Okay, but with time, you need to have that self motivation also, which is very very important. हमेशा किसी के बोलने पे if you do, then that is not something which will help you achieve the goal. Okay, this is a word which is the buzzword happening around with every junior, senior people in life. State of feeling upset, annoyed, and hopeless. This is something which we have to take care on day-to-day basis. Everybody is facing some of the other stress. आप बच्चों को पढ़ने का स्ट्रेस है, कुछ अचीव करने का स्ट्रेस है, हमारी जिंदगी में कुछ और स्ट्रेस है, पढ़ाने का स्ट्रेस है, सिलेबस कंप्लीशन का स्ट्रेस है, फॉर यू डूइंग वेल का स्ट्रेस है, and of course personal life also has lot of stress and problems, right? So in order to handle that, it's very important that you should be able to handle it. Feeling of suicide, feeling of hopelessness, and not able to manage. We hear nowadays people with so much difficulty, get into IITs and then they are not able to handle it and they commit suicide. That's not that. That's really not that. If you are not able to handle it, go for a second option. There's always a second option. ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता कि जिंदगी में second option नहीं है किसी भी point. It's so disappointing. It's so disheartening. Whenever like regular school days में इतना paper नहीं पढ़ पाती मैं. But during my vacations, I make it a point to read the newspaper daily. And you will definitely find some of these kind of news every day. And if done by others, it's still acceptable at times, though difficult, but yes. When students do it, 15-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old, या एक साल IIT में पढ़ के not able to handle the stress and then they commit suicide, that's very, very disappointing. So कभी भी जिंदगी में ये चीज बिल्कुल मत होने देना अपने साथ, that hopelessness feeling कि मुझसे नहीं हो, वो चीज नहीं हो रही, कोशिश करा, बहुत कोशिश करा, नहीं हो रहा, go for something else. There's always a second option. Nothing like that कि वहाँ पे नहीं है कोई ऐसा. Okay, so stay positive and analyze what is going wrong so that you are again self-aware. You should be knowing that what is going wrong and why is it going wrong. Understand the situation. Maintain an accomplishment sheet. Always feeling hopeless with yourself is not the solution. Maintain what you have achieved. That is also important. ये मैंने अच्छा किया, no? That gives you that motivation. At least it works for me very well. Keeps your thoughts in present. Ask में क्या गलती करी, what went wrong, forget about it. Talk to your friends, talk to your family for support, for comfort. And of course, try to practice a little bit of meditation, or if you feel good with sports, if you feel good with music, if you feel good with anything else, do that to keep your stress up. But always remember, there is a second choice. Okay? How to become result oriented? You have to set your goals clear. You have to make an action plan. You have to talk to people, gather as much as information. Nowadays, you have internet to gather that information. But then it's always better to talk to the people who are involved. So talk to your mentors, talk to your seniors, talk to your peers, make a calendar and work towards it. So all these things will be kept in mind. Okay. Further on, there's this particular acronym. Again, my AI class 9th and 10th students are aware of it. Goal setting में, how do you uh, have an achievable goal? उसका एक acronym they have given, which is SMART: specific, measurable, action oriented, realistic, and timely. Goals, setting up a realistic goal is very, very important. और उसके लिए you should have specific lines of actions. Just saying कि हाँ ठीक है, I'll do it. I'll cover up 75% of the syllabus in this 1 month. It's not possible, na? At times. Okay. It should be realistic also. It should be a time bound. Because you have to tell कि मैं 1 घंटे में क्या करूंगी, तभी तो आप 12 घंटे का टारगेट बनाओगे ना. अगर आपका 1 घंटा स्पेसिफिक नहीं है तो 12 घंटा कभी भी स्पेसिफिक नहीं है. Right? So it should be timely. It should be action oriented. Some goals बना के छोड़ दिया, but you don't have action plans for it. Of no use. It should be measurable. That is very important. Whether you are achieving it dhire or not. So if you have a target of every day, you know that within a month you'll achieve it or not. If you don't have a target of 1 day, then after 15 days, you don't even know that whether you are able to achieve that goal or not. 25th day में लगेगा कि impossible. And then you feel stressed, then you feel disheartened, then you feel hopeless. ठीक है? तो छोटे छोटे टारगेट्स बनाना बहुत जरूरी है for achieving your actual bigger goal. Right? So these are the points which needs to be kept in mind. A very good acronym that we have for goal setting, which is SMART. इसके ये pointers आपको full forms definitely याद रखना. Specific, measurable, action oriented, realistic, and timely. Okay. They may ask you in terms of MCQs also from here. They may ask you as a 2 marker to what is the meaning of SMART in your setting of goals. They also can ask like that. Now moving on to the third aspect, जो मेरा major आज का concern था, because the other two we have still done in class 9. This is my self-awareness. Okay. Self-awareness is very, very important, which is really going to help you achieve the rest of the things which you really planned. Okay. Moving down, that how do you go about cultivating the self-awareness in everyday life? So we say that start each day with a moment of mindfulness, keep a journal to reflect on experiences and insight, practice active listening in your interaction with others. So that's one way of going about it. Moving down further, 3 terms when you talk about self-awareness. It's very important that I know myself. Am I a outspoken person? Am I a introvert person? Am I somebody who gets stressed very easily? Am I somebody who is able to handle the whole world in one go? Am I witty enough to take care of things? Because that's very important to decide on. When you know yourself, then only you can decide on a profession. Somebody who cannot talk, gets nervous in front of 10 people should not become a lawyer. Somebody who doesn't have the courage to fight back should not become a lawyer. So it's very important to know yourself to really achieve your goal ultimately. तुम एक गलत प्रोफेशन में घुसोगे, उससे ज्यादा बुरा जिंदगी में कुछ नहीं हो सकता. Because you cannot handle it after giving 3 years, 4 years, 5 years to your studies, and then you land up into a profession, and then you after 1 year you feel कि no, I'm not meant for it. That's really difficult situation. Okay. So 3 terms: personality, personality traits, and how does the personality develop? So when I say this person has a very good personality, his personality बहुत impressive है. So what exactly are we talking about? We're talking about the cluster of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors of a person, which you are able to identify for a person, and that is what makes a person unique. उसका way of thinking, उसका feelings, उसका way of expression, उसका behavior, उसका body language, everything defines the personality of a person. Right? And the traits are defined as the lasting patterns of these things. Traits से ही हम किसी को judge करते हैं कि ये introvert है, ये extrovert है, ये he outsmarts people in a crowd, whatever. So those are the traits by which I'm able to identify the personality. And it doesn't happen in a day. It's with time that you develop a personality. Your culture, your people around you, your education, your way of looking at things, how your people are taking care of you. Everything is important in shaping up your personality. Okay. So all these factors we have to keep in mind. The big five personality traits. The words are difficult, but when we get into it, you will realize that they are very close to our self also. हम लोग लोगों को identify करते हैं इस तरीके से. Openness, ancestiousness, extraversion, agreeableness. You will find people with these kind of traits, and neuroticism also. Just see at the figures. I've tried to give the figures so that you are kind of able to remember it well. The terms might not be very familiar with. I mean, you might not be familiar with, but the figures will help you remember better. ठीक है, जैसे इसमें देखो, you can see the extraversion personality person is enjoying with others.
Ma'am,
Okay?
they're psychological terms.
Yeah, these are psychological terms, right now. So everybody is not studying psychology. So थोड़ा सा ये portion difficult है for others. But I've tried to give you figures in order to make you remember better. That's what I could do. Right? You have the agreeableness means एक बंदा जो कि ना बहुत easily दूसरों के साथ घुल मिल जाता है, is able to what do you say? अच्छा ठीक है, I'll think over it. हर बात पे is not very aggressive. He's not very you know objectionable material नहीं बोलेगा वो कभी भी किसी को. That kind of a person. ठीक है? So we come down to these things, but these are the big five personality traits. Again, objective question can be asked from these terms, or explanation also can be asked. Moving further, little bit explanation. I'm said, आप text को याद ना रख के, you can remember the picture in your mind, and then you are grown up enough to write about it. It should not be a problem writing about it. ठीक है? So talking about the first one, which is openness. Individuals with openness to experience are generally creative. So इसीलिए वहां पे मैंने painting का picture दिया है. Right? They are creative, they are curious, active, they are adventurous. You'll always find this kind of people taking care of it. Okay. They would like to meet new people, but they'll be listening. They'll always not be overpowering kind of a thing. वो सुनेंगे लोगों को देखेंगे. They'll be observing people. They'll be giving an opinion after listening to a lot of things. They'll not jump to conclusion. So those kind of people are this category, openness. Consciousness are who listen to their conscious, are self-disciplined, do their work on time, take care of others before themselves. Very, very idealistic. बहुत अच्छा बच्चा, बहुत अच्छा इंसान, कभी गलत काम नहीं करेगा, कभी गलत चीज नहीं करेगा, टाइम पे सब कुछ करेगा. This category is this. I don't know whether these kind of people exist nowadays or not, but yes, they are very conscious. They will not. I mean, situations in life make them do things which are not right, maybe, but still they will think 100 times before doing something wrong. Very, very disciplined people. Okay, that is one category. Extraversion are those extroverts. You always meet these kind of people in classes also. Very happy, go lucky, always meeting and greeting people. Talkative, happy, must इंसान जिसे हम कहते हैं, those are my extraversion. Then comes agreeableness. This category talks about individuals who are generally kind, comfortable to talk to. You'll always find a person in the classroom जिसको जाके you can always talk to. तुम्हें पता है कि वो जाके उसका मजाक नहीं बनाएगा, या वो जाके उस चीज को किसी और को गलत तरीके से नहीं बोलेगा. They are very, very cooperative. They are sympathetic towards you. They'll understand. You can always talk to them. There might be a very few people like this, but there are. I hope in your friend circle you definitely have all these category of people, and I would say a mix of this group always is a good thing. So you always have every category, and you know कि किसके पास कब जाना है. है ना? एक ही तरह के लोग नहीं होने चाहिए. It should be a mix of all. Right? So that is a fourth category. Neuroticism is a difficult trait to handle, where a person is always anxious, बहुत जल्दी डिप्रेस हो जाता है, very shy. नेगेटिव फीलिंग्स मतलब उसके अंदर बहुत जल्दी आता है, बहुत जल्दी. That is why the picture which I've shown you here is somebody who's getting exhausted very easily. Now all time drained out. कुछ भी हुआ, oh, I'm so tensed. I'm not able to work out. I'm not able to. है ना? Before looking for solutions, that person is getting depressed. So these are the 5 categories we have. General. There could be a mix of thoda, like a person might be completely neurotic. You may find them nervous at certain situations कि वो इस particular चीज को handle नहीं कर सकते. Like if I talk about myself, I'm somebody who's not able to handle a situation where I find 2 people fighting, whether in my family or whether outside. I feel very odd at those places. I might be able to talk to people. I might be able to, do everything else, but I just get numb. दूसरा बंदा होता है ना, वो जाके झगड़े को रिजॉल्व करता है. आई एम नॉट एबल. I get very, very scared at that situation where I see 2 people fighting. Maybe on some kind of a, what do you say, that I don't like Shah Rukh Khan and the other person likes Shah Rukh Khan, or I don't like Modi ji and the other person is Modi ji fan. I've seen these kind of fights happening at my place too. So, but I kind of avoid it and I move out because मुझे लगता है वो useless है and I'm not able to handle it. So that creates an anxiety, that creates a kind of depression कि लोग ऐसे क्यों लड़ते हैं on these factors. I'm somebody like that. So neuroticism is not something that I'm always anxious, I'm always depressed, I'm always like that. But certain situations make you feel neurotic, right? So try to remember the figure, which will help you remember the detail about that personality trait. That's the easiest way you can do. ठीक है? ओपननेस से ये क्रिएटिव वाले लोग, कॉन्शियसनेस बहुत ही बढ़िया, अपने डिसिप्लिन में रहते हैं, अपनी पढ़ाई करते हैं, अपना काम करते हैं, जब जब जरूरत है, जैसा जैसा जरूरत है वैसा वैसा करते हैं. एक्स्ट्रा वर्जन से बहुत इजीली याद रहेगा. एक्सट्रोवर्ट. एग्रीबल इज द मोर कंफर्ट गिविंग एंड अग्रीबल पर्सन. झगड़ा नहीं करेंगे हमेशा से. चल ठीक है, तू जो बोल रहा है ओके. 5 बजे की मूवी नहीं देखना है, 4 बजे का मूवी देखना है, ओके फाइन, आई डोंट नो. शाहरुख खान इज ऑल्सो ओके एंड सलमान खान इज ऑल्सो ओके. ठीक है, इस तरह का पर्सन. एंड न्यूरोटिज्म इज पर्टिकुलर कैटेगरी वेयर यू हैव सर्टन थिंग्स एंड दैट इज हाउ. एंग्जाइटी से याद रहेगा तुम्हें ये कैटेगरी, इसीलिए मैंने ऐसा पिक्चर दिया which will help you remember what category. Okay. Now the one which I also found little difficult and I believe ये याद रखना थोड़ा मुश्किल है. Let's see how easy I can make it for you. The common personality disorders. ठीक है, at times a person might be having that disorder. Like I will put myself as a case study here. My family puts me under the category of obsessive compulsive disorder. क्या होता है? I'll talk about it. So everybody, see, you may see me, when you're seeing me like that, you may find me normal. So it's not that कि disorder है तो वो इंसान कुछ पागल सा होगा. Nothing like that. But हर एक का एक personality का feature होता है. ठीक है? That they are categorizing as a disorder. And they have categorized it into 3 categories: cluster A, B, and C. This is like a summary. In the details, I'll go, but yes, remembering the terms are important. So cluster A talks about paranoid, schizoid, and schizotypal. What I found that in the exam उन्होंने from this portion part 2 जो है आपका overall of employability skill, इसमें से questions हर बार आ रहा है from this particular personality disorder type. So they would take up any particular personality disorder and give the features in the MCQ and say कि भैया बताओ कौन सा वाला disorder है. ठीक है, they do that. So इसीलिए इस चीज को थोड़ा सा हमें समझना है और 1-2 बारी revisit करना है before the exam. That is very, very important. Okay. So these are the first category. Paranoid, by the term itself, you understand, is little severe. So we talk about eccentric behavior. No, sometimes we call वो बंदा is a paranoid baba. Difficult to handle it. So there's some kind of an eccentric behavior involved in that. And there are these 3 categories in this clustering: paranoid, schizoid, and schizotypal. Then you have the dramatic behavior people. जिसके अंदर antisocial, borderline, histrionic, and narcissist categories are there. And severe anxiety and fear के अंदर they have put avoidant personality disorder, dependent personality disorder, and obsessive compulsive disorder. You can yourself identify to any of these if you have. Like I'm saying, I belong to this because my family says I belong to this obsessive compulsive disorder of one category. So let's see. सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज जो आपको क्लस्टर ए में फॉर पैरानॉइड याद रखना है, सस्पिशियस. ठीक है, देन यू कैन राइट अबाउट इट. You always see some people who are not able to trust others. Have you met? Have you met somebody like this in your family or in your friends or in your life? हमेशा suspicious. उसने जरूर ऐसा किया होगा, वो तो ऐसा ही है, वो जरूर ऐसा करेगा. You know, you cannot trust people. It's a very difficult situation in life. Frankly telling you, जब ये बहुत ज्यादा हो जाता है, you need a psychological help also. Because तब आप अपनी फैमिली को भी ट्रस्ट नहीं करते. You will lock your room from inside and sleep. कि मुझे आके कोई मार देगा. This goes to that level. Paranoid goes to that level. Okay. But the key word which you have to remember is suspicious. Distrusting people. Okay. Schizoid is somebody who is like a completely away from people. उसको social life बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं. So social detachment. Completely. He doesn't enjoy with people. Stereotypical is a little different in the sense that थोड़ा सा वो discomfort होता है socially, not as much as schizoid, but little, right? We have certain further descriptions in it. What's that? Paranoid personality disorder characterized by distrust, which can include everybody. You always hold grudges against them. अरे वो तो ऐसा ही है, इसको नहीं बोलना, इसको वो तो ऐसा ही करेगा, something like that. Schizoid is natural tendency towards your inner life. You just cut away yourself from the external world. मुझे किसी से बात नहीं करना, मुझे किसी के घर नहीं जाना, मुझको किसी से कुछ मतलब नहीं है. You are emotionally cold. That is your schizoid character. The third one talks about they can influence other people with their thoughts. They think they can. तो इसकी वजह से they are able to have emotional responses which are little inappropriate. You know, आपका जो reaction होगा towards others, you'll always think okay, I will. मैं जो बोलता हूँ वो क्यों नहीं करेगा, है ना? Whatever I'm trying to put up, he should be able to do it, which leads to problems at times. Why should the other person always listen to what you are saying? है ना? That should not happen. So that is the third category. ठीक है? In cluster A, you have paranoid, schizoid, and schizotypal, and these are the basic characteristics of this. Cluster B, which is these four categories. Antisocial, by the term you understand, antisocial is a very general term. We understand by this term. The social rules and obligation. मैं school में I will not wear tie and go. Just always kind of जो socially बोला गया है करने के लिए, obligate करने के लिए, you will not go. Helmet पहन के चलो, नहीं करना. You know, लेफ्ट साइड से या राइट साइड से ओवरटेक नहीं करना, व्हाटएवर द रूल इज, नहीं करना है. तो सोशल रूल्स को वो फॉलो नहीं करेगा. एंटी सोशल पर्सन. बॉर्डरलाइन डिसऑर्डर इज लैक ऑफ सेल्फ वर्थ. Sense of self-worth. Self-worth is very important. You always have to think, yes, I am worthy. I can do something. अगर ये सेंस चला जाता है, that leads to a disorder. A pattern of emotional instability, which will lead to violent outbursts, impulsive behavior. आप हमेशा गुस्से में रहोगे, आप हमेशा एक सिचुएशन में ऐसे रहोगे कि मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता, मैं कुछ नहीं बन सकता, लेट मी डाई. सेल्फ harm. You try to harm yourself because you think that you are not worth. So that's a borderline personality, as they call it. Then those histrionic, वो attention gain करने के लिए कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. Overly dramatic people, रो पड़ेंगे, they'll do something, कुछ भी कर सकते हैं in order to gain attention. We do find these kind of people also. Third, fourth category, narcissist. They are like always, मैंने ये किया, मैंने वो किया, I am this, I am that. Like, see the controversy, I mean, contradiction in borderline and narcissist. Borderline person says, मैंने कुछ नहीं किया जिंदगी में. I have not done anything. Whereas a narcissist person is too much over that I. वो किसी की नहीं सुनते, किसी को नहीं देखते. They are only bothered about their own achievements. And they will always exaggerate that. I did this because I was there, so the results were good. Because I was there, I was able to take the company to those heights. ये भी एक disorder ही है, because you cannot really achieve much if you are always doing that I. You need the people around you, and they work. है ना? You always say कि मैंने किया, that doesn't work. You will be always then kept aside. ये तो ऐसे ही बोल सकता है. Right? So antisocial, somebody who doesn't abide by the social rules. Borderline, somebody who is not having self-worth. Histrionic, somebody who is like always eccentric, gains attention, tries to seek attention. Narcissist is that I. Narcissist में बहुत सारे I भी हैं, so you can remember like that. Is that I am the most important person in this. Those are the four categories of cluster. Now comes the cluster C. Avoidant, dependent, and OCD are without. Avoidant is somebody who will avoid people, meeting others. तो हमेशा एक डर लगा रहता है, people will embarrass me, people will criticize me, they will reject me, so they avoid me. Yeah, they always have that fear. Even if they go into group, they'll always have that fear कि बाबा मैं ऐसा नहीं करूंगा, इस तरीके से जीना भी बहुत मुश्किल है ना? आप ऐसे कपड़े नहीं पहनोगे, आप ऐसा नहीं बोलोगे, आप ऐसा नहीं करोगे, तो सारी जिंदगी दूसरों के बारे में थोड़ी सोचेंगे हम. I have to do what I want. I have to do what I feel is right and what I feel is correct. That also has to be there. Balance is very important. Dependent is again lack of self-confidence, and you always need to be taken care of. Dependent, by the term dependent, you always need to be taken care of, looked after. I can't decide. Bhaiya, you please decide for me. क्या बनना है, क्या करना है, you decide. I cannot do it. शादी करनी है, आप चूज कर दो. गर्लफ्रेंड बनाना है, आप चूज कर दो. So you always depend on your friend for taking a decision. You always dependent on your brothers, sisters, anybody whom you trust for your decisions. That is also not right. Because then if something goes wrong, you will blame the other person. No, you will not take the responsibility on yourself. ये मेरा डिसीजन था, ठीक है, गलती करी मैंने, so I need to improvise. The moment you are dependent on others, you are always looking at others for your decisions, then you will not own up to it, which is also not right. Okay. Third one, obsessive compulsive personality disorder. They are people who are always looking for perfection, attention, orderliness. ये पेन का डब्बा ऐसे नहीं, ऐसे रखो. ये कुशन ऐसे नहीं है, ऐसे रखो. So people call me like that. They say that I am very, very particular about how things are supposed to be here. Though I feel I'm not, but yes, I get to hear that I am an OCD personality. Compulsive, obsessive compulsive disorder. ठीक है? So when you read all this, you will always, I think you also will be able to correlate to some particular thing. अगर वो बहुत ज्यादा नहीं है, so of course you don't have any disorder. Very good. And you will find that around you, you will have people like this. So आपको पता होना चाहिए ये चीजें, because when you move out of your school life, you will be meeting hundreds of people, thousands of people around you. And if you are able to judge them well, you will be able to handle yourself. I think that's the reason for making this as part of your syllabus. Right? Because it's very important to judge yourself and judge others around you. Otherwise, you land up into a situation जहाँ पे बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है उस particular situation से बाहर आना, या उन toxic लोगों से बाहर आना. You get dependent on them, you get emotionally involved with them. You are not the correct one. Or sometimes they are having an issue, you want them to help, you want them to be cured, So you should learn them, both the categories, right? So again, back to that summary sheet which I had made, this one. इसमें से words उठा के याद रखो. You may paste it in your some place. Paranoid is distrusting others. Schizoid is completely socially aloof. Schizotypal is somewhere थोड़ा सा ठीक है, but he has behavioral eccentricities. That is there. तो automatically वो फिर socially involved नहीं हो पाता ना, because उसमें है वो problem. Cluster B, antisocial, we all understand very well. We use this term pretty well. Borderline is somebody who is having doubts about his self-image. So low on confidence, low on self-esteem, as in. Histrionic, they always want attention, seek attention. And narcissist is somebody who is, I am. Always need admiration from you. Third category, avoidant. Always avoids. कुछ भी करने से छोड़ो, forget it. I don't want this. Dependent, you are always dependent on others for your distance, which is absolutely nonsense. Submissive behavior, you will not be able to own up to your decisions. So you will never be able to improve also. जब तुम ये मानोगे ही नहीं कि तुम्हारी गलती थी, तो तुम कभी उसको बेटर नहीं कर पाओगे. तो हमेशा बोलो कि इसकी गलती थी, वो उसने बोला था करने के लिए. अपनी गलती नहीं मानोगे तो कभी नहीं मिलेगी. Right? So dependent. And the third one is obsessive compulsive disorder, which is somebody who is wanting perfection on this, which is also something which is you are unable to achieve. When you have 5 people around you, you have different category of people you're working with. Achieving that perfection is next to impossible. You have to work with imperfections in life. वो acceptance होना चाहिए, otherwise you will never be happy. है ना? So that is also a kind of disorder कि तुम रोते रहो, ये चीज ऐसे नहीं, ये चीज वैसे नहीं, कभी भी happy नहीं हो. So you will be unhappy yourself and you will make unhappy others also. Right? Have I been able to give you a smaller picture to this bigger topic? Because we'll finish up, it's hardly less than a minute remaining for the class. I don't want to take it longer. You can do a summary of this. At least show me a thumbs up. All of you can do a summary of this. Okay, great. Naisha, others also. Let's have it. Great. Thank you so much.